Good morning, this is my report, Revised Bloom's Taxonomy by Lauren Anderson and David Cratwell. Starting the class right, laying down the curriculum plan. Main parts of lesson plan. There is 1. Objectives or intended learning outcomes. Subject matter. Procedure or strategies of teaching. Assessment of learning outcomes, and assignment or agreement. So this is the part of the lesson plan. Intended learning outcomes. These are the desired learning outcomes that will focus on the lesson. So when we say intended learning outcomes, it is come from the outcomes of students based on their learnings. Okay, learning outcomes are based on taxonomy of objectives presented to us as cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. So these 3 parts of objectives, the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor, will be discussed further. So Bloom's taxonomy in 1956. In 1956, the first one is evaluation, second one is synthesis, the third one is analysis, fourth is application, fifth is comprehension, and sixth is knowledge. But when it comes to revised, when it is revised, Bloom's by Anderson 2001, the first one comes with creating, the second one evaluating, the third one, instead of analysis before, it becomes analyzing. Before application, now it becomes applying, understanding, and remembering. Okay, so take note. Original version is stated as nouns. Okay, so when it comes to revised version is stated as a verbs. Okay, so revised Bloom's taxonomy. There are 3 major changes in the revised taxonomy. Okay, so these are, first is changing the names in the 6 categories from nouns to verb. So from noun, it becomes to verbs. Second one is rearranging these categories. So as we can see that the categories are reassembled or rearranged. So the third one is C, establishing the levels of the knowledge levels in the original version. Okay, so as we can see that the levels of the knowledge, it becomes rearranged. So as we can see in the Bloom's taxonomy, from the revised Bloom's taxonomy, the first one is evaluation, and the first one in revised is creating. And the last one for the Bloom's taxonomy is knowledge, and revised Bloom's by Anderson is remembering. Now, remembering. When we say remembering, it is recall or retrieve previous lesson learned information. Okay, so we are recalling or retrieving information based on our learnings. Understanding, comprehend meaning, translation, state problem in own words, and making meaning. So when we say understanding, it is based on what we have learned, on what we have understand based on the lessons discussed. So applying, use concept in new situation, applies what has been learned in new situation. Okay, so when we say analyzing, I think it is giving much of activities to students to apply what have they learned in our new lesson. Okay, so analyzing, separate materials or concept into components, parts, so that the organization is clear. Distinguishes between facts and inferences. Okay, so evaluating, make judgments about the value of ideas or materials. Okay, so when we say evaluating, we are evaluating our students on what have they learned. Okay, so when we say creating, build a structure or pattern from the various elements. Put parts together to create a whole, to make a new meaning and a structure. So when we say creating, we are creating new structure or pattern of various elements. So that's all, and thank you.